Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing Core of Discovery, doing a preview of the prototype of this one, and specifically focusing on the third chapter, the first chapter in the expansion material, which is going against the Insecta. And insects sound pretty easy, right? Nothing to be scared of. Oh my god! Yeah, these are not your average mosquitoes. I'll do a full solo playthrough of the game, and then I'll give my thoughts at the end of the video. And as always, we accept no compensation for our coverage. We just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and come say hi on our Discord. So first of all, again, what I'm going to be playing here is the Insecta scenario, which is from the first expansion you can get in the crowdfunding campaign. There should be videos of the two core game scenarios, which is the flora and the fauna scenarios, but there's no connectivity between them. It's not a campaign game, so just what you're seeing here is different than what's in the base game. I wouldn't even say it's really more or less complicated. It's just kind of a different thing. But in the game, you are explorers, basically like a fantastical version of Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea. This is based on a graphic novel series I have not read, but it looks pretty cool. And you're going to be exploring this board. So underneath these little green discs here is a map that I've secretly slid in, so I don't know what's underneath here. And I've seen the game described as Minesweeper-esque, because you are building out and finding things. I can see that, but for me it also reminds me a lot of something like Search for Planet X or Search for the Lost Species, because they've got all these little logical connections between things that can change based on the scenario. So for example, every forest, every place with wood is next to or orthogonally next to a place with water and vice versa. So anytime I find water, I know there's going to be wood nearby. Or anytime I find a native tribe, I know there's going to be some food diagonally nearby. So it has kind of like that logic puzzle deduction thing to it that I personally love, especially when it's combined like this with a thematic adventure. But yeah, the basic idea of play is we will be revealing one location at a time. In this scenario, we have to start off in the rightmost column, and then every disc we reveal from there has to be orthogonally adjacent to something we've already explored. So we'll kind of be slowly building out on the map, although some things will block our movement or make it more difficult, like the insects when they appear, or like this mountain. This is the peak of the mountain range, but we'll have other mountains coming out, and we can't move through those. Actually, sorry, I should have uncovered it because there it already is. Although it's slightly offset. Hold on. There we go. Mike fixed it. But yeah, so we can see where the highest peak of the mountain is, and all the other mountains are connected to that. Well, here, I don't want to get too much into the weeds. Let's get to the actual play of the game. So yeah, one at a time, you'll be exploring places, and most of them will give you resources. So if you explore a wetland, you get water. If you find a forest, you get wood. If you find a place with berries, you get food. And those will be getting stored in your backpack here, or in the case of water, in your canteen. You can also get fire as a resource. But why do you need these things? Well, that goes into the challenge cards, which are your main timer in the game, your main challenge besides the monsters in the game. So each day you're going to have 3 cards, and at the beginning of the campaign you always have Approach the Arch as your first one. And each challenge card will have a certain amount of time up here in the upper right. So as you take turns to remove these discs from the board, they're going to flip to their little sun side here, and it goes right on top of the challenge card. And once you have as many as the value here, then the challenge will resolve, and it'll see if you have what it takes to succeed or fail it. So here I could choose to discard a wood in my backpack to pass and get a food. If I fail, I get a food, but I lose water. And you can always choose to fail even if you have the resources. So if I really thought that wood was necessary for me and didn't mind losing a bit of water, I could just choose to fail here. And then that card's discarded, and you move on to the next one. So after 3 days, the monster tracks will be discarded, and then we have the bug bite for 2, and at the end of that, that's the end of a whole day. After each of these cards goes away, we have the consequence phase. So whenever one of these is resolved, where you take water if you're in fatigue, which means you have more than 4 resources on your board into this red area. And also, if your scenario has monsters that do specific things when you have the consequence phase, you would resolve that. This one doesn't. The insects just kind of sit there and make it more expensive for me to explore. And then at the end of the day, you need to spend a food or you starve and die. And you also die if you ever need to spend water and cannot. So those are the 2 kind of core loss mechanics, running out of food or running out of water. And some other things happen during the night phase. If you don't have any monsters, you get a threat card automatically. You get all your characters and gear back. We'll see that in a second. And you get 3 new challenge cards. So that's kind of the ebb and flow of the game. These challenge cards come out. You try to resolve them or not. You got to feed yourself. And then you do it all over again. Now, I mentioned characters and gear. I'm playing with a single explorer, in this case, Lewis of the Lewis and Clark team. And most of your cards are going to have an exhaust ability. So in Lewis's case, I can exhaust before I explore a location. And whatever I find there, I get double of. So if it's water, I get 2 water. If it's wood, I get 2 wood. I figured that would be a good one since, as you'll see in a moment, the Insecta scenario requires you to spend a lot of extra resources on things. And then you can pick 3 gear cards when you're playing solo from those available. If you had more players, you would have fewer cards each. I picked the spear. These are some scenarios that you can't use it in. The Insecta is fine. I can remove this from play to kill 1 monster. If I get a really early insect card, I might use that. The jar, I can place a resource for my backpack on here, and then I get a second of that resource at the nighttime. So again, like Lewis, just a way to keep the resources flowing. A compass is kind of guess-based. I exhaust before I explore a terrain, and if I guess what it is correctly, I don't take the sun token, which means I get kind of like a free turn timing-wise. And then medicine is one that kind of is just an easy mode card. When you're playing with 2 to 4 players, you'll see it subtracts from your final score. But with a solo player, it's kind of suggested as something because solo play can be tougher. So here I can exhaust it to refresh 1 character or gear, which in this case would pretty much just have to be Lewis or the compass, I guess. Or I guess I could get double use out of the jar. We'll see. But that's my loadout. Let's talk about the Insecta scenario, because every scenario is different. So in this one, whoops, I just realized this guy's supposed to be over here. There's even like a nice little, oh look, and the art lines up, lovely. So the story here is that the new area we got into is filled with these carnivorous, horrific bugs, like these giant insects. And additionally, there's this Ranidae, who's a 5-tongued giant frog toad guy. I guess he likes the bugs. And he's blocking our easy access back to our boat. But if we can send enough resources from the area back to our boat, 1 of each type, getting them onto these things, then we can develop an insecticide, and that will let us kill the bugs. Until we get that, we can kill 1 bug total the entire game with the spear, but we can't kill any more. And our goal here is to kill 4 bugs total. So kind of like my compass, whenever we are about to explore a terrain, we can guess what type it is, and then spend either a meat, we start with 3 of those to feed him, or 1 of our water. And if we guess correctly, then he gets distracted eating the meat or something like that. And for the rest of the round, until the day ends, whenever we go to a terrain, we can, instead of taking the resource ourselves, send it to the boat. So that's why I picked Lewis and the jar, because we're going to be having to send so many things to the boat. And yeah. So before we start the day, we should see, so approaching the arch. If we get wood, we can not lose water, although, again, I might just want to keep the wood. The next one is monster tracks. We would need wood, a skull, which means we would need to have found a monster lair. That's how you get skulls, which I don't really want to find a monster lair too early because that'll bring out the insects, and a water. If I do that, I can explore a path without spending a sun token, which is really good. And then if the path I explore is a monster hut or whatever they're called, then I lose a water. Otherwise, I just lose 2 water, a destiny card, and I get a thing called a sample that just fills up our resources. So if I don't have a destiny card, failing that is not the worst thing in the world. Now this one is really bad to fail. I would need a flower and a water to make an ointment to get rid of the bug bite. If I fail, then I lose 2 water, I refresh the Ranidae, and I get an insect on the board. And that's what I want to avoid happening if at all possible. And I guess before I start, I should talk through the particular logic of this scenario. So, what have we got? Water is always next to wood. Food is always diagonally next to a teepee for one of the tribes that can help me. A monster lair is always orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to one of the tribes. And then this little special flowery rock terrain that's only in this scenario is in the same row as mud. So if there's mud, that's going to be in the same row. And if there's this, then there's going to be mud somewhere in that row. Now, some other rules. There's only 1 forest or wood spot per column and row. So once I find 1, I know there's no more. Mud is always next to both water and mountain orthogonally, but this doesn't have the little like back and forth red arrows, which means that this doesn't apply to them. So like water and mountain don't always need to be next to mud, but mud always needs to be next to water and mountain. All of the mountains are connected into one range orthogonally. So I know that like one of these 4 is definitely going to be a mountain, for example. I can build shelter on fields, and also in this scenario, fields get you mushrooms, another thing that the Ranidae wants. You can trade resources with the tribes. You can find hills that don't cost a sun and let you know how many monster dens are in their range. And when you find a monster den, you have to spawn a threat card, which is usually going to bring out an insect that we can't fight until we make the insecticide by sending all that stuff to our boat. All right, enough preamble. You got basically all the details. Let's start out here, and everything will go out from there. Oh, so we found our flowery rock thing. Cool. So that's 1 time on our arch card out of 5. And we got to figure out whether we want to get a flower or a rock. Not a hard choice in my opinion. This bug bite is really bad, and all I need is a flower and water. So now I'm already good to go for that one when it comes up. Now, again, I could not have sent this flower to the boat to fulfill one of my requirements because this dude is still sitting there waiting for us. So I need to have some clue of what the next terrain is going to be and then guess correctly to get that to work. And this gives me basically 0 information because the only rule I know about these is that somewhere in the same row is mud. Great, thanks a lot. And that's how quick a turn is, by the way, just uncovering something. And then I could, before or after, use any of my powers and that kind of thing. If I was playing multiplayer, somebody else would be the next one to discover, but it has to be me, and I have to go orthogonally from things I've uncovered, but not counting red spaces, like the fact that I know there's a peak there doesn't let me magically teleport over here. I don't know. Let's go west, I guess. Hey, we found some water, and that will actually give me some guesses of what might be coming next. So that's 2 out of 5 for the arch. There's our water. So the big thing we know with the water there is that one of the 3 adjacent spots, you can use the back sides of the resources as kind of like guesses, and the front side if you know for sure something is there but you don't want to go yet. That's a way for me to remember, hey, I know that since water always needs to be next to wood and vice versa, one of these must be a forest. But I don't know too much else yet. Hey, let's keep going west. Why not? Oh, we found a hill. And this is a nice hill to find. So first of all, whenever you find a hill, you see the little minus sun. This sun doesn't count against us, so we didn't lose any time there. And then additionally, we look at what hills are telling us here. The X equals how many things are in the row and column with that. So it says, hey, there are no monster dens in this row or column, which means I can explore freely west and north and south of here and never be in danger of getting bugified. I'd like that a lot. But I'd still kind of like to find the wood. Maybe if I go north and it isn't wood, then I'll know that the south is definitely wood. I can get rid of the frog guy for this turn. So yeah, let's explore up here for our next turn. Ah, darn, it's the wood. Okay, so that takes away that. Although, I mean, there could still be wood there because it would still be next to the water. So I get wood as my second resource. And darn it. Yeah, now I know nothing. I need to guess something to use my compass. I would like to know something before I use Lewis to get extra resources. You need to turn over to Frog Boy so I can start sending stuff to the boat. All right, what the hey? Let's go west. There's a decent chance this is going to be a mountain blocking us up, but we'll see. Yep, should have guessed that. It is a mountain, and you notice this one is also red, so we can't move here. The mountain has stopped our way. We would have to now go around to get past the mountain range. Mountains can never be on the exterior spaces, though, so you always have a way to get by. All right, to show you where things stand, we've got stone, wood, flower, and 4 out of 5 time before we approach the arch and make our path. All right, so darn it. Yeah, I have nothing to guess right now. Let's go south, I guess. What the fridge? We are blocked in, y'all. All right, so we've reached 5 suns. So we could use powers and stuff, but let's just go ahead and resolve this approach the arch thing. So we have to mark our path. We could lose a wood to gain a food, which we would need to not die, or lose a water and keep the wood to also gain a food. But here's the thing, after this resolves, I'm going to lose a water if I'm fatigued, if I have 5 things. So I am going to lose the wood, because otherwise I wouldn't have space for other stuff. And the food will take its space. I am not fatigued, I haven't gone into the red, and we're good to go. Although we're not going to be too good for these monster tracks, and I need to friggin' predict where the Roundaday is so I can start setting resources there. Oh, I forgot, I could use my jar to place a resource that's not water from the supply board onto this card. But let's not do that yet. I'll just go ahead and do the thing I did and keep my water. Okay, so we got 3 time until the monster tracks will come up. And at this point, I am locked out of most of these directions. Should I maybe go down here? Now, I do note that there is no location for my pawn. So even though that was the last place before these that I explored, it's not like I'm actually located here. So I could explore there, anywhere orthogonally adjacent to things I've already found. Okay. One thing to note, there is a bonus for getting every space in a column or row. For a column, you get to pick one of these destiny cards. You have 2 face up. These give you little one-time cool abilities. or you can just draw the top one from the deck. And for a row, it varies by scenario. For this one, it lets you move the insects a bit out of your way. So maybe work around the mountains, I guess. Hey, we found some mud. And that makes sense because it's always next to water and stone. But that leaves me still completely unsure of what I'm doing or where I am. I got 2 more before that next card resolves. Let's go here. Okay, it's water. Ooh, so that means once again we'll have the chance to guess where the forest is nearby. Now, there can only be 1 forest per column and row, which doesn't help us at all because the only one we know is there. So that or that is going to be wood. And the day is running low. I'm going to go ahead and use my compass and say this one is wood. I feel like maybe they'd be meaner and put it in the corner. So that'll exhaust that. If I'm right, I won't get the sun token. And then I'll also discard one of my 3 meat. Remember, after I run out of meat, I have to use water to try to distract the Ranidae. And yeah, I'm saying again that that is wood. And am I right? Yes, yes. Okay, so that goes away because of the compass. I distract the guy. So go to sleep, buddy. Now it's only until the end of the day, which is only like 2 more turns. And then, boom, I'm going to send the wood to him, of course, instead of taking it myself. I don't even really have that much room on my board right now. All right, let's keep on keeping on, I guess. So where do I want to go? I guess here now. What could that be? I guess we don't really know what it could be. Oh, it's mud again, because water and stone, sure. So that will finish off the monster tracks, but let's certainly send the mud back to the boat. That's 2 out of 8 things we need. But the monster tracks resolve. We certainly do not have the skull, which is too bad because that would have been a nice bonus. So we lose 2 water, which is okay. We had 8. If we had a destiny card, we would lose 1. We don't. And then this, the icon changed a little bit in the more final version, is a little sample token. It goes here. That blocks one of our spaces. Oh, crud. We're going to lose fatigue. Well, no, first we can do stuff before we, technically end the day, I believe. So this can be discarded by getting rid of any other resource. So I can use wood or stone to build a fire, which will be useful for some challenges. I can use wood, mud, or bones, 2 of any of them, to build shelter once I find a field with some mushrooms. So let's get rid of the stone, I guess, for now, and get rid of the sample with that. And that means we won't be fatigued. Okay, so in 2 turns, we're going to have to use our flour and some water to avoid the bug bite. But that's not too bad. Okay, so I have found the way around the mountains, but I kind of would like to keep going here since I know it's safe. So sure, let's go here for our next one. What do I still have? I have the spear to kill a monster, which actually I wouldn't mind finding a monster right now because I'm going to draw a dang threat card anyway during the nighttime if I haven't found a monster yet. So I kind of would rather just get one. And then the jar, I'll have to decide what I want to use it for. I know I forgot about the medicine. I could untap my compass. I could have Lewis get more resources, although I'm kind of full. I need to find a field. Where are fields located? They have to be next to food and wood. I'm next to wood. Actually, all right, okay, let's go with this one. Boom. Hey, there we go. I mean, not necessarily what I wanted, but kind of what I wanted. So I get a bow, and I'm going to send that to the ship for sure, because I don't need it immediately, and I don't want to find those too much more, so not trying to flip them will be good. And then I draw the top threat card. 6 out of 9 of these are going to spawn an insect. Yep, there we go. So insect. So it says place an insect token on, it tells you where, closest unexplored path adjacent to the monster lair, not on the edge. So we get to choose as long as it's next to this and not on the edge. So I think up there is good, because what these monsters are going to do, why they have a little icon going in every direction, is anytime I want to explore one of these places, it'll cost me an extra resource of my choice. I got to discard it before I go there, which is pretty rough. Now I know some things with that being there. TPs have to be in one of these 6 spots, and they also have to be diagonally next to food. Which means it couldn't be here or here. Well, I guess it could be here if that was the food, couldn't it? Darn. But yeah, it can't be here. It could be here if that was the food, although that seems less likely. Yeah, lots of spots it could be in. But what if, this is totally probably unlikely, what if this was the field next to food, wood and food? And then if that was the food, then that could be the TP? Oh, it doesn't hurt us too much to guess, right? Here, I'll take the medicine to untap the compass. I'll use the compass to say that's a field, I guess. And nope, that's 100% wrong. All right, so I'm getting another mud. I gotta figure out what to do here in a second. Ooh, now that is good. This is good, because I'm gonna be able to start my day with a really nice thing. Look, I know with 100% certainty that has to be water, because mud's always next to water and rock. Beauty. All right, so let's. Oh man, I never used Lewis to get extra resources. That's fine. I can use him for more water. I'm going to use my jar just to get me out of fatigue range before I do the. Oh wait, I'm going to use the flour anyway. Well, still, I'll use my jar. I can't use the food or I would die because I get it back at night. Yes, I wouldn't have it at the end of the day. So I guess I'll double my rock. By the way, I already had put mud on the board, so I can't do that again. Okay, so I'll use my jar for rock, and then we do this. I'll use the flour and a water, which gets me absolutely nothing, but I don't get the negative. Then we go to the end of the day. We have to eat our one food, so we will starve unless we find some more, but we know we're near a monster lair, so it must be somewhere. Okay, then we go to the night. There is a monster in play, which means we don't have to draw another one automatically, which is exactly why I did that. Then my little jar grows another rock, because that's how jars work. I don't know. We refresh all our cards. We get 3 new challenges. Now there's a windstorm coming, and some insects spawn are going to attack us. And then it's too darn hot. And the Ranaday has finished eating the meat. We need to feed him again. So going into day 2, let's see what we need. A windstorm. We need mud and stone. We got that. 2 water. And we get a wood. That's cool. If we don't do that, we lose 3 water, 2 wood if we had any. And if we had a shelter built, we would lose that. So pretty much no reason not to complete this. I'll save a water and, get a wood for the other resources, which I already have doubled up. Insect spawn. I would need mud, which I have, or a mushroom, which I haven't found yet. Wood, which I would get from that, and water to pass. Otherwise, I would refresh Ranaday and get another insect, kind of like that other card. And then too hot. I need mud and water again. If I have a shelter when that happens, I would get a destiny card. Otherwise, I lose 3 water. So it's basically 1 mud is going to take the place of 2 water here. But again, I would still get a destiny card. Okay, so if I can build a shelter before that, that's good. I really need a lot of mud. I don't know if I'm going to get that much. All right, but we're going to do a lot of stuff here. Here we go. I'm going to start out by removing my one-time spear from the game because I want to be able to investigate around here. So let's kill this insect. So that's 1 out of 4 insects we have to kill. So here, let's keep them over here. And that'll mean I don't have to pay extra when I go here, which I am doing with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm saying, hey, I'm coming in here with some meat for the Ranaday. I'm saying it's water with my compass. Gee, should I even use... Yeah, let's just use Lewis's ability to get an extra resource or whatever I find. Hey, what's here? Oh, it's water. So we get 2 water. The Ranaday goes to sleep right at the start of the day. I love that. Oh, and I'll send one of the water to him. Heck yeah, or to the boat. And the time doesn't go on our board. So that was fantastic. Now I've got my medicine to reuse Lewis or reuse the compass. I've got my jar here. And I still need to get the Ranaday a food. That one's terrifying because I need food for myself. A rock, a mushroom, and a flower. And where are flowers? Oh, it's that flowery rock thing, right? Yeah, that's in the same row as mud. There's gonna be one everywhere here. But they're probably all over there, I would guess. Now I'm still looking for the natives. I'm still looking for the food that'll come from them. So they have to be in one of these spaces. And then the food has to be orthogonally adjacent, which means, again, they couldn't be there, but they could still be in any of these spaces. So maybe let's try to narrow it down a good bit and head here next. Oh, there's the natives. Okay. Now, when you find them, you can trade any one resource for any other resource. So sure, let's trade a stone for a mud. Now, this does not count as getting it from the terrain, so you can't send it to the boat, like even if I had changed it to a mushroom, for example. All right, that one does go on the board, so we only have 2 more turns before the windstorm. But we're already ready for the windstorm. We are already prepared. Okay, so now I know there's food, food, or food, right? Because food has to be diagonal from a teepee. Oh, I also just realized this or this has to be wood, right? I already sent wood to the guy, so I actually don't really want wood that much. But I do want to send stone, and I feel like maybe this is going to be the mountain. So let's head west here. Oh, man, that's the wood. Okay. So that means I don't really know what this is. Okay, so yeah, we are narrowing down where wood can be. So, like, there has to still be a wood in this column, which, oh, this means it's there. It doesn't really help us out at all, does it? Ooh, I can get a destiny card if I go there. What are my options? The face-up ones are a crate, move an insect token to an adjacent path when you explore the last unexplored path in a column. That's weird, so I have to, like, get another unexplored column? Or make a deal. Look at 1 path in a straight line west of each TP. That's pretty good if I find more of them. Okay. And actually, that's look at without exploring, which means I would be able to perfectly use it for the Ranaday or whatever. So I kind of like that one. So sure, let's explore up here. Oh, it's a what the heck? Oh no, that means there's another monster lair right around here. Unfortunately, it's not letting me send anything to the stupid boat. Do I want to trade anything? So I'm about to use these two to withstand the windstorm. That'll get me a wood. And then I'll use that and the wood I get to take care of that. And then I'll use that. Okay, so I'm kind of good on resources. I can also build a shelter if I get one. So I think I'm okay. I'm not going to trade. But we do get to our first thing. There's a windstorm. So we have to spend a rock, a mud, and 2 water. That gets us a second wood and nothing else. Okay, we withstood the windstorm. So we only have 2 turns before the insect spawn. But I'm ready to go with that, although my water is getting a little bit low. All right, so there has to be food diagonally adjacent, which means there or there. Or, oh my gosh, everywhere could be food. So 2 out of the 5 of these are food. And then 1 out of the 4 of these is a monster den, since they have to be adjacent to these things. Now, we haven't found a field yet, and fields have to be next to food and wood, which makes me, well, there's definitely going to be wood here. Oh, actually, that makes me feel a lot safer. So one of these has to be food, and one of these has to be a wood, because we know there's going to be a wood in every column, which means that the monster lair has to be that or that. I think that's more important to show than the teepees and such. But yeah, I do feel like this is maybe going to be the field. Let's find out. I'd like to build the shelter before that too hot spot. Hey, I was right. So I get a mushroom, and I'll send that to the dude immediately. That takes me to, that means I just need food, and I could get that pretty soon, and stone and a flower. Although I only have 1 time before the insect spawns attack, and then 3 more time. Okay. Oh, and let's build it. No, wait, do I want to build the shelter? I can't yet because I need both the mud and the 1 wood for the upcoming thing. So if I can get another wood or another mud, then yes, I can build it. Okay, so we know that's food or wood. We know that's food or wood. Oh, wait a second. That has to be the wood, right? Because it's next to water. Because that could not be water. Yes, okay, cool. So we know, this is awesome. We know with 100% certainty that this is wood, and then this must be, wait, why does it have to be food? Why do I think that has to be food? Oh, no, the house needs to be next to food, and that water's already next to wood. Never mind. So that could be food. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is food, which would make that wood, which would make this be water? Maybe? Although, wait, this could still be wood, right? Because that or that could be food. But then where would the food be for these guys? Could that be the food? Gosh darn it. All right, let's explore. Which one's more likely to be the wood? I mean, it needs to be next to water. So that would have to be water. But if the food is not there to be next to the field, then there would have to be food there or there, totally separate from the food that would be there. So if that's not food, then that would mean both of those are food. Oh, okay. So this gives me some redundancy and safety. I like this. I'm going to go here but not use any abilities, so that if it is the food, I just get it. I can send it to the boat, and then I know where to get more food, and I can use Lewis's ability. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's the wood. Which, oh crud, did I think I might have assumed more than I actually could have. Oh, well, it's fine. The insect spawn attacks. We'll use a mud and a wood, so we're not going to be fatigued when the card goes away. We do have 2 extra wood. I kind of think I want to build shelter with that in a second. Oh, and then we also lose a water. Oh, we're down to half, 5 water. That's not great, but get out of here. Okay, and we're good for this, but man, I want to get shelter. Okay, so we don't need the wood. Let's go ahead and build the shelter, because it's any 2 of those resources. So now we won't take fatigue if we go to 6 resources or more. Okay, so now let me redo my food calculation here. So there could be food there, or there. And then one of these 2 is going to be a monster lair, because it can't be in that one. Oh, wait, this one only, so this must be food, right? Now that one's not, because that's the only diagonal left, right? And they have to be, yes, okay, they have to be diagonal from food. Whereas this one could have a lot of, well, I guess that has to be a monster? Why does it have to be a monster? Oh, because it has to be adjacent there. Yes, we know for 100% certainty that's a monster. And we don't have a monster card at the moment, so I'll probably actually go and get that when the turn's about to end, so we don't draw one anyway. And then this or this could be food. But then there also needs to be food here or here for the field, which If it was there, then like that would be a teepee. If it was there, then that or that or that. Okay, this is a lot. But here's the big thing. Let's do the absolute sure one. So I'm going to use my medicine to untap Lewis. I'm going to use his ability. I'm going to go over here. Yes, it is what we thought it was. That means I get big one, double the food. So I'm not going to starve tonight. And I got all but stone and flour. I should be able to get some stone, right? Can I just try to move into a mountain real quick? Ooh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Look at this. This needs to be a mountain because they need to be orthogonally connected to each other. There is no way that that's not a mountain. So if I use my last 2 turns to go boop, boop, I could be sure I'll get the stone I want. And then the flower/stone spaces need to be in a row with mud. So it's one of these 4 spots, one of these 3 spots, one of these. Actually, there could be one right there. But yeah, so I'm going to use my last 2 turns to go here and then here. Get the sure thing. So boop. Oh, crud. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking lucky. Okay, so I'm going to send the flower over there. And then my last turn before the 2 hot triggers, I'm going to, yes, get the stone and send it over there too. So that means we have developed the insecticide. Now, what that actually means is that anytime we get a bug into a explored spot, then they die, which usually means moving onto their space, which means we'll have to move next to them first and and take the 1 resource hit and all of that. But yeah, that was great. So boop, that guy's gone. That's done. I love it. And yeah, we're going to be okay. We have literally just, oh man, I can't even use my jar. Well, that's okay. Yeah, so we're going to do this. So I spend a mud and a water. We are getting low on water. And we still have to find all the bugs. And, oh crud, I never explored. So we're going to get like an extra threat card draw. That's fine. I mean, we want to kill them now, right? So it's okay to get threat cards. If I have a house, I get to draw a thing. Oh, and wait a second. I should have drawn a thing when I went there anyway. So yeah, so the make a deal lets me look at something to the west of a TP, which will let me find out if that is indeed food or something else. So sure, we'll take make a deal, and then we flip up another one. Trap or tarp. Save 1 fire the next time you're forced to lose 1 fire. No, we'll draw another one for our reward. Weather Vane. Discard. Look at the top 2 cards in the challenge deck. Put 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. Let's use that now before we draw the threat for the turn, because there's 3 cards in the deck: Chased, Injured, and I forget what the other one is. It's like a special one for the insects that'll cause me not to get a monster, and I need to get 4 monsters before I starve or run out of water. So yeah, let's use our Weather Vane and look at the top 2 of these. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get rid of that Injured. So what can I do with them? Yeah, 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. So I'm putting the insect on top, the Injured at the bottom. So now we know we're mostly going to get insects. I will eat my food to not starve. And then since I don't have a monster, I get an insect. Where's this one going? This is night. The unexplored path adjacent to the easternmost explored path, not on the edge. The easternmost explored path. Oh, but they're all on the edge. Where does he go? I guess anywhere here is how I would then interpret that. Which is fine by me, because all I got to do is just move onto his space and he'll die immediately. So yeah, I'm not sure if I quite did that right, but we'll say I did. And then I know I can spawn a monster by going there. But I do have 0 resources and very little water. Okay, let's see what these things are. A flood. Move to higher ground. If I pass, I lose fire. I haven't made any yet. If I fail, I lose 2 water and fire and get one of those things. And then lose any other 2 resources. Oh my gosh. Although I lose 2 water anyway, and I lose 2 resources anyway. So I might just try not to get any resources until that resolves. And then cool food. Build a shovel and dig a pit. Wood and that and that. If I pass and I have fire, I get a food. But I know where to get food. If I fail, I lose 3 water. Oh, that's too much water. That is way too much water, y'all. And then bug sting. Make a solve. Ooh, 4 time. But gosh, I need a lot of stuff for it. Or I lose 2 water. And I add insect token to one of the easternmost unexplored paths that's not on the edge. So just like that last guy. I mean, that's actually helpful to me. That's very helpful to me. So I don't want to solve that. But these are pretty bad if I can't get rock and wood and all this stuff. All right, so we know that this or this is food. You know what? Let's go ahead and make a deal and look at the one path in a straight line west of each teepee. 1 path in a straight line. Oh, does that mean any? Oh my gosh, I think it does. I think I can pick anything in the entire row here. So let's see what's under the bug. It's another teepee. Okay, it's not too useful to me. And then, let's see. I know that's that. Well, sure. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so we know that's food. Let me put that down. That's the food that was from there. Oh, and then that's the teepee. That makes sense. Okay, so we know what those are when we want to go get them. But to prevent the flood from messing with us, we need wood and rock. Wait, let's kill this guy first. So I'll use the compass. I'll say, hey, that's a teepee. And since he is now in an explored spot, he's dead. So that's 2 out of 4. We can trade resources, but we don't actually have any resources. But it doesn't take any time up. So we still got 3 time until the flood hits us. So we're going to kill 2 more bugs. If I go there, I'll spawn 1. That would also get me a bone, which I totally don't need for anything. I don't want to get the food yet because the flood's going to steal my resources. I need water. I need wood. So there can't be any wood. There has to be wood here, here, and here. But it's limited to these 3 rows. So very good chance there's like wood up in here and then water near it. So maybe let's go here, I guess. Sure. Hey, it's water. Okay, cool. I'm just happy about water because all of these threat cards are costing me water, so I'll probably die if I don't have any. I wish I'd used Lewis to before going there. Okay, so the flood hasn't happened yet, so I don't really want to get real resources yet. So I know this or this. Oh no, this has to be the wood because that wood is already taken. Cool. So I know where wood is when I want it, which I want it for the next card, the cool food card, which means the last wood is here or here. Those spots are possible wood locations. And I still know that one of those is food and one of those is something else. I'm not sure what. Well, actually, maybe I'll double up the wood, and then there's a very good chance this will be rock or that'll be rock. Because if I can get some wood and rock, I'll be good for this. Okay. Let's buy me some time. Yeah, so I'm going to use the medicine to ready the compass. Then I'll use the compass saying this is wood. So it won't cost me a time again, so I still have 2 turns, and I got a wood. And then let's go ahead and go up here and hope this is a rock. Right? It probably is. Oh, it's mud. What the heck? Okay. Well, this has got to be a rock then, right? I hope. What is mud next to? Water and rock. So if that's not a rock, it's water, which is still good for me, but I think it's probably going to be a rock. Yes, okay, cool. So we are able to move to higher ground, which loses us to water. I mean, it's really not that great. Oh, now I don't. Wait, I meant to use Lewis to get an extra wood. I said I was going to do that. I forgot. Okay, well, we'll just let it be. I've gotten lucky in other things in the game. Okay, so now I don't have the wood to dig the pit. Shoot. Because I know where to get the skull. And the only spots left in the world to get wood at this point is there. So I guess I could just go here and hope. Well, actually, here, I got an idea. There has to be wood here, which means that it's either going to be wood or maybe water. Let's double this. I don't have to say what resource I think it is. I'm just going to get it. Okay. That's fine. That is great because now I have water no matter what. So I can survive the cool water failure and still have 2 water for the next card. But I don't have freaking food yet. Oh my gosh. So by the way, we know that's wood, but I don't want wood, so who cares? Oh, I forgot about like the flowers because I need a flower for the next thing. So flower stone, mud, flower stone, mud, flower stone, mud. Well, now that I know I can survive the cool food, let's go ahead and get some food. So I'll go here. Yep, and get the food I knew was there. And that also finishes a column again. I don't want either of the adjacent things. So let's make ally. Discard. Get any 1 resource that you currently have. Ooh, yes, sir. I like that. I'm going to gain another food. Yeah. So that way I'll be able to pay 1 for the bug sting and still survive. But yeah, oh my gosh. I just ran out of 3 water. I just got to start killing bugs. Why am I doing all this other stuff? Okay, now we got 4 time though. I've got 4 time. And I've got enough food. I've got enough water. I just need to find like I said, no, actually, I want to fail this, right? Because that'll get another bug out there. Yeah. So let's just get bug spawning and kill him. So hey, you, what's up? Please be a bug. And oh no, feed the beast. Discard an extra resource to make a guess before you can exhaust the round a day. How to remove. Discard 1 resource that's on the boat. I don't care about this. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. Now I don't. Okay, this has to be next to monsters. Okay, so let's start looking for stuff. Oh, we can also try to find the water. That's got to be now. Well, the wood has to be here, so the water has to be somewhere here-ish. Let's go here. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. Spawn. Yes, it's an insect. Where's it going? Closest unexplored path adjacent to monster lair, not on the edge. All right, easy peasy. Let's we have 2 more time left. We'll get a skull from that. Not that I really care. Okay, so let's go here. Oh man, it's another one. I don't know if I want another one. That kills that guy. And yes, okay. This is also closest unexplored path adjacent to monster lair, not on the edge. So I can put them here or here, right? And then By the way, I don't think to like move into their spot I need to spend an extra resource. Although if I did, I have a ton of resources. So wait, can I do this? Can I just win right now? Brr, yay! Oh, and water. Oh, interesting. I didn't think there would be another one there. So that's my fourth monster, and then we immediately win. Although I would have survived this because look, I didn't have the mushroom or the flower, but I could have spent 2 water. I had the 1 food for the end of the day. Don't see many chances of me surviving like a few more challenge cards. But yeah, we got that string of people right at the end. That was great. All right, so that is Core of Discovery, the Insecta scenario, which again is only in the expansion or like the deluxe version. I know in the basic version pledge, you don't get this one. But let's get into my final thoughts about the system overall. So first of all, this stuff I personally love. Now, this is very much to my taste. I can't promise that all of you all will feel the same way about it. But I really like, the games I already mentioned. Search for Planet X, Search for the Lost Species, Minesweeper, if you want to compare it to that. Or, even like there's a little bit of like Turing Machine in here. Just this basic like kind of spatial logic puzzle I find a lot of fun. And I wasn't even being that clever in this one. I'm sure there were things that you all probably noticed that I didn't that would have given me more things to figure out. Now, what I'm not sure about is how many different maps there will be. In the prototype they sent us, there were 4 different maps for each scenario. So that would mean in the base game, you would have 2 maps for the training scenario plus 4 each for flora and fauna. That'd be 10. But they said that they're totally redoing the maps for the actual game. Like what you just saw is not representative of any map in the game, so you didn't get any spoilers. And that makes me think they can make the maps pretty quickly. So hopefully either there'll be a lot of extra maps in the box or there'll be some way to like generate a map, although I guess you'd have to print it out, right? So I don't know how that would work. But also the other thing is, I don't know about you all, but I would immediately forget this map after playing the game like once or twice, even the same scenario or a different scenario. So unless someone is just obsessive or has perfect eidetic memory, I don't think it'll be a problem. I think the variety will be fine and things will still be surprising when you play again. Now, this part of the gameplay is my one, maybe biggest warning about the game. And this is very group specific. I pretty much never talk about alpha player. I find that to be a group problem and not a game design problem. But I do think this one, it's worth mentioning because it's more prone to it than the average game. Because as you saw, things are very tight with like this movement puzzle and finding resources in time or you die and all that kind of stuff. Go in the wrong direction at the wrong time could kill you. And not everyone's gonna have like as good of a handle on this stuff, especially when it's a more experienced player teaching newer players, maybe younger players. So just, if you're planning to play this one not solo, it works great solo, but if you're planning to play it cooperatively multiplayer and the people you're playing with aren't very good at this, figure out how your group dynamic is going to work with that. Are you going to be able to hold your tongue or help to like gently show them things they might want to know? Or are you going to be a big like butthead that's trying to control everything and be like, no, you have to go there or we die. So it's definitely got that potential issue. I'm just mentioning that for your group, and if you're planning to play it co-op and it applies to you. It's not going to apply to anybody. Like, I don't have that problem. I'd be fine just like playing with my kids and giving them a little hints and just letting the dice fall where they may. Well, no dice here, but letting the game fall where they may, but others might not. Now, the variety is great. I've played everything except the 4th chapter of the 4 they sent, plus the intro. And in the fauna one, you're like fighting these minotaurs, and you have to find these bases, and they'll give you like the tell you the resources you need to kill the minotaurs. The minotaurs are blocking you up, kind of like the insects were, but the terrain is somewhat different, so you have like a different kind of puzzle of solving things. The flora one, you're like trying to build fire and burn down these plants, and certain resources are really in high demand. And then I haven't played the 4th one, but I think the Hungry Gamer covered it, and he said it was awesome. Like this guy's like chasing you around and stuff, and you're moving him around the board. So I'm very impressed with the variety here, but that's another caveat. If you only buy the base game, which I think they said $30 or $40. If you only buy the base game, you're just getting flora and fauna. If you want to get the insects and the I forget what the other one is called, but the other guy, then I think it's going to be extra, either an add-on or like a higher pledge level. And then there might even be more expansions after that. So, if you're trying to get the cheapest level of the game, you're not going to have as much variety. I still think it's a fun, I've had a great time, even like in the training scenario, every time I played. But yeah, you're going to have to pay up to get like the maximum variety the game offers. Some other things to mention. I like the card choices and the powers and stuff. The game does let you pick which ones you want to use, but the fact that you get free reign of them does mean that you might kind of fall back on the same items repeatedly or fall back on the same items for scenarios. So I could see like a house rule, or maybe they'll make this an official rule where like you only have a subset of the cards to choose from or something. Like I always use the compass. I don't always use the jar. And the medicine is like a little solo add-on. But yeah, like I always use the compass. I find it's just a great card to save you time and give you more time to explore. So, maybe the game should not allow me to do that. But besides that little concern, I do like the way the gear works. The way co-op works is you just like take turns using characters. So you have more gear and more player power spread around, but you can't always use them at the right time, right? Because like it's York's turn, even though Lewis's action power would be the perfect thing for the player. So I think it does balance out pretty well across player counts. And then finally, I love this challenge mechanic. How the timing you have changes every game, how the resources you care about change every game. That's the thing. Even if you did memorize the map, which, again, I'll say is basically impossible, what the map would mean to you would be different every game because you need to get different things in different orders at different times. Now, sometimes, as you notice, the card penalty isn't that bad, and you might not really care about failing it, but I think there are still interesting choices. Like you saw here, I would have become fatigued if I had not spent the wood, and also, if I had a ton of wood, I might just spend it anyway because I'd rather save water. But yeah, this is such a cool thematic system. It's such a nice varied way to change things up. And it adds a really fun spin on the survival mechanic thing and makes the entire exploration really sing and really interesting. So I love everything going on with this. So that is it for Core of Discovery. I'm super in on this game. I think this is great. This is from the team that made Mind Management, and I really liked the discovery in that game, and I think I like this even more because the solo co-op is the whole game instead of being a really good add-on to the competitive play. So go check out the crowdfunding page if you want to see more. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.